Mitchell Hooper is your 2025 Rogue Invitational Champion, and what a performance it was by him. We're going to talk more about him very soon, but firstly, I just want to go through the overall results. So, top three, we had Mitch winning, Trey Mitchell in second, and then Tom Stoltman managed to come back and finish in third position. Lucas Hatton was a point off the podium in fourth. We then had Tom Evans, Bryce Johnson, Austin Andrade, Rain O'Neill, and Paddy Haynes at the bottom.
Do you like free stuff? Do you want to begin with a chance of winning £100? Well, let me tell you, it's never been easier. All you have to do is subscribe to the channel, and when we hit 1,000 subscribers, we are going to be doing a giveaway to one lucky subscriber to win something. We don't know what yet, but something worth £100. So make sure you subscribe today so you do not miss out. On with the video.
Really, yesterday, the second day of competition, the more interesting thing was the battle for first and then the battle for third. There wasn't really a battle for first with more than Mitch and Trey Mitchell, but the battle for third, Tom Stoltman, Lucas Hatton, Thomas Evans, Bryce Johnson, even Austin Andrade were all in with a shout. And it finished with Tom Stoltman having 38.5, Lucas Hatton, who I've already mentioned, 1 point behind on 37.5, and Thomas Evans and Bryce Johnson tied with 34.5, Austin Andrade on 30. Mitch won with 52, and Trey Mitchell second, 45.5, which doesn't really do justice to how close it was coming into the last event. Trey Mitchell could have easily won. Obviously, easily he didn't, but he could have won. But Mitch was just too good. So speaking about Mitch and his overall competition, he took an event win on the deadlift, second on the Viking press, a 6th place on the yoke escalator, which with these events, that was the one that I was most confident that he was going to win. And that's the one where he did his worst placement. Overhead medley, second. The power drive, second. Stones, a win. Do we say he did a Martins anymore, or do we just say that he did a Mitch Hooper? I mean, after those first two events, I was at work at the time, and I actually said, it's done. It's done. Mitch has won. It's already over. And then we had the yoke escalator, and I put in a group chat that I'm in, Strongman group chat, that is back on. And then after the overhead, I was like, okay, Trey Mitchell's got another point on him. 2 events to go. Just got to stay there, be consistent. Potentially, he can potentially beat him on the stones. The power drive, Trey Mitchell took a 7th place on the power drive. His first event out of the top 3. And Mitch going into the last event, 1.5 lead is always going to be difficult to catch. I think if the stones were heavier, and obviously we're doing ifs, buts, and maybes here, but if the stones were heavier, then could have definitely had a chance, because all the times were pretty close, and Trey isn't the fastest of movers. So yeah, quickly about the stones, we had Mitchell Hooper winning them, and I'm going to give you the times. 22.18. In second was Lucas Hatton. I thought Lucas Hatton actually won the stones, but I think they got it wrong. Lucas Hatton, 22.73. We then had Rain O'Neill, 23.04. Bryce Johnson, 23.7. Tom Stoltman, 23.9. Trey Mitchell, 25.2. So they're all sort of within a second of each other. I don't think the stones were as difficult as they could have been. There was only 4, went up to 180. Admittedly, you don't have tacky. You've only got the tacky towel. It's the last event of the show, but it's something. It's a new event. I don't know the last time Rogue did an at the stone run. I think the event was really ran really smoothly. It was cool to watch. The way they set it up, I really enjoyed, and there was jeopardy in it. But like I said, I just think that next year, if they run the same event again, which I don't know if they will, but if they run it in the future or at the Stones at all, then maybe it needs to be either a little bit heavier or a longer run into the platform, or just an extra stone. Even if you had another stone weight jump in there, then that last stone of 181 kilo, I think it was, then becomes a lot more difficult. Anyway, let's talk about all of the events on day 2. So the overhead medley, I really thought Lucas Hatton would win this, and he didn't even look that gassed by the end of it. In terms of, did he think that he'd done enough? Or I feel like he could have done 6. He could have done 7. Obviously, he's probably knackered at that point, but if you watch the way that Mitch and Trey Mitchell were cleaning that axle to get that last rep, and the way they were trying to press it out, they were giving it a 100%, whereas Lucas was doing a rep, stopping, getting his chalk, and he had a lot of time, don't get me wrong, but I feel like if he had really attacked it, then he could have potentially took an event win there. You could have had Mitch and Trey tied behind him, and he might have been back in some sort of contention, or at least stretching his lead in that 3rd place spot even more, but he didn't. So interesting. He's 1 point off the podium. I was impressed with him. One thing I will say is he always comes out and gives his all. So he just had a couple of bad events. Lucas did, and I'm going off on a bit of a tangent, but like the first event, he's tied for 3rd place. Second event, he's 3rd place on his own. The Oak Escalator, he's 2nd last. Overhead medley, 3rd place. The power drive, last place. And then the Stones, 2nd place. So I just think that maybe his coach, Alec, is always very honest when they do like their roundup videos about whether they got their training wrong, or what they should have done differently. He's always very honest about that, so that'll be interesting to watch. If it's a case of they think that they got the training for it wrong, or if Lucas just didn't execute correctly. But anyway, the overhead medley, Trey Mitchell and Mitchell Hooper were the best two in this event. It was a really, really fun event to watch, actually. Shame for Paddy, who didn't get any implements, so got a 0 on that. Paddy didn't have the best competition, but I think that was expected. It was a bit of a baptism of fire in terms of a major competition. He's done well, he did well there, but that's a lot of guys, and there is a lot of guys that you can pick points off. But in a show like this, even you got Rain O'Neill down there, like second to bottom 8th place, struggling to pick up points. The last 2 events, he got 2 3rd places on the last 2 events. Shows that his moving's still very good. But yeah, I don't think Paddy did badly at all. I think the 2 overheads obviously weren't great for him. Obviously got 2 last place on that. The 18-inch deadlift, it isn't his favourite deadlift height. I think if it was a standard one, he could have picked up some points over different people on that. Yoke Escalator, obviously, won the event. Overhead medley, not his event. Power drive, thought it would be better for him. Didn't do that well. And then the Stones, thought it would be better for him. Didn't do that well, but he did go out before everybody else. So he had the hardest job of all. Talking of the power drive, this is where Mitchell Hooper really won the event. Tom Solomon absolutely destroyed it. 51.1 seconds to do the whole thing. I think Rain O'Neill could have won this event, potentially, maybe. Stupid red box rule, man. He got it into the red box, but because it had gone out of line, he then had to push it over. Doesn't make any sense, because if you're pushing it left, pushing it right a little bit more, you have further to go anyway. Like, you're not at an advantage. you've put yourself at a disadvantage. So I don't see why it matters. But anyway, it doesn't matter too much. He came in with a good time on the power drive, 68.11. But I'm pretty certain he would have shaved at least probably 10 seconds off that. So he still would have finished in second, but you never know, the additional fatigue and getting thrown off by having to do that. Tom Stoltman, was incredible on that. His arm over arm was really good, power drive really good. Mitchell Hooper, second place, 64.53. And then Trey Mitchell, 76.74. So I'd say it's really where he lost it, to be completely honest, because you had the likes of Thomas Evans, Bryce Johnson, Austin Andrade, Reno Nell, all coming in front of him, and Mitchell Hooper going into the last event with a 1.5 advantage is something that is very difficult to overcome. And then I've already spoken about the Monsbeg Stones. Quickly, I'm pretty sure Mitchell Hooper broke his foot on the power drive. He did something to his foot, whether he broke it or not, I don't know. But you could see halfway through that it looked like his toe, to be honest. But you could see halfway through they had to start pushing differently. He looked down at his foot, looked back up, started pushing differently, and then did the arm over arm. And as soon as he's done the arm over arm, he was speaking to the medical staff. So something definitely happened. And then he did say after the Stones that he did it with a broken foot. But I don't think anything was going to stop him this year, which is kind of exciting, but worrying. I think a lot of people, including myself, were under the impression that the other guys had improved, a couple of percent, and that maybe Mitch wasn't quite at the same level that he was a year ago. Maybe he was a percent or two down, so that the playing field was now evenly matched. How wrong we are, because to win the deadlift, to essentially win the two overhead events, he came second, and then tied for reps with Trey, but to only be beaten by Trey, who is considered one of like top 3 in the world when it comes to pressing, to be beating certain guys on moving events when he probably isn't as conditioned to a show as a lot of these guys, and then to win the Stones at the end, which is typically his biggest weakness, or the one that he doesn't guarantee a win on, is just shows that Mitchell Hooper is back. And I think the next show will be the Arnolds. A lot of these guys who competed here will be at the Arnolds. I don't think we'll see Paddy at the Arnolds. I don't think it's a show for him anyway. So I doubt we'll see Paddy at the Arnolds. I would imagine we see Reno at the Arnolds. And we'd probably see Reno, Austin, Bryce. We'd probably see all of them apart from Paddy. So we've probably got 8 guys there who will go to the Arnolds. And then you chuck an Evan Singleton in there and a Thor in there. You've got your 10-man lineup. Simple. There we go. An early prediction for the Arnold Strongman Classic lineup. Anyway, yeah. All in all, a really good competition. I did genuinely really enjoy it. Some of the events went faster than expected, which is good if you're busy. It's not if you're excited to spend your Sunday watching Strongman. But yeah, or Saturday watching Strongman, I should say. Overall, really, really impressed with the event. Really impressed with Mitchell Hooper and Trey Mitchell as well. Lucas Hatton, not so impressed with, but I know he's a top athlete. I just think that I don't think he's prepared correctly for this event. I think he's the sort of athlete that, when prepared correctly, he is a threat. When not prepared correctly, he's not so much of a threat. I think he has to get everything right in order to win these shows. I think that Mitch, Trey, Tom could maybe be a bit more shocked by an event and still come through and get the result on the other side. I think their natural ability for strongman is higher than Lucas's, but Lucas's training methods and approach to strongman is probably the best in the sport. So, yeah, there's a little bit of wisdom for you on a Sunday. Anyway, guys, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And we'll see you in the next one.